Alright, recording, yeah. So, the previous episode was a hellhole. I definitely should make it to the end a lot easier. I'm playing with my Xbox One controller here, and I said, this is the best controller to use, but I've been avoiding it for most of my gameplays episodes, because it's really noisy. I've got it far from the system right now. I'm using a wired method here, but that wasn't the reason before either. It's just I avoided it because it's noisy. You'll still be able to hear it no matter what. So this episode should go a lot smoother. So yes, Sherbet Land is the first for this cup. Yeah, memories playing this game growing up, man. So now you definitely get to see me playing the game as was the skill from childhood. I've got a proper controller. I had this for years, to be honest. It's just, and you heard it in some of my, if you check through my episodes, I can't remember exactly which one, but I was using it before, and I was saying in those videos how noisy this is, and it's bad for the, Jesus Christ, and it's bad for the video. So that's why I avoided using it, but this is the controller that I should have been using all along. Let me get my boost right at the beginning, and now I'm playing the ice trap where you could fall off in the ice and all that shit. The icy, slightly slippery trap. My luck is really bad. I do not know why for trying to showcase the Nintendo fun, playing Gamecube games and stuff like that. I do not know why this fucking Sony-esque, Sony investing island, they only give you luck, or they only have high hopes for you playing Sony games. I hate this dang island. Like, everything about it is not new. You know, it's possible you could be born someplace and like the island, the land that you're born onto is like nothing about its culture, its people fits you at all. You're nothing like them. Their culture, their lights, they're nothing like you. That's it. This island Barbados that I'm born onto, I'd really happily go somewhere else. Like, to be honest, I hate this fucking place. Everybody is a Sony fucking cuck. I call them that. You know, like how they say the jocks, in high schools and stuff, the jocks, you call them like cucks or whatever the hell. Yeah, every Bayesian, every Barbadian is a fucking Sony cuck. Not saying there aren't a lot of Sony-esque, like, obsessed people who grew up on only Sony and Call of Duty and stuff all over the world, but it's really bad here because this island is tiny as hell. So, like, whatever is the main crowd culture, like, everybody's either in it or forced to join the crowds' culture. There isn't any real choice around here, to be honest. And I would easily say there aren't many real Nintendo fans on this freaking island, and it's annoying. A lot of other things about this island I don't like too. Yeah, whoa! Alright, so definitely pausing. Sorry about that. So pausing the recording. I didn't even realize, yeah, these episodes are going by so fast. So pausing, and we'll come back. You know what? I'm just gonna quit the next episode. I try to get first and everything for these playthroughs. This is what I'm doing, aiming for the gold trophies. I don't want a bronze or anything else. But yeah, I'm just talking so much too. You wouldn't believe that I'm actually good at this game, but you know, also is an old game. The most recent that I've been playing a lot is 8 Deluxe, and this game is really old, but I guess you can see the skill there, how I'm drifting and stuff like that. His skill is still there. But what I'm trying to get at is that the way that a crowd mentality land works is if they're not good at something, they don't like to see you being good at it. Is like, just because they can't do it, you shouldn't be able to do it either. And there's a lot of hate and stuff. I assisted my biology teacher in class. I helped teach the bio class and stuff like that. There was a lot of hate. Whilst I was in primary school, I was like targeted and picked on, and that's the only reason I made it to the school I did. I could have gotten to a way higher school, like academically, but I ended up at this school called Corjan Parry. I could have done way better, to be honest. But yeah, this island is something else, man. Why is it so terrible, bro? Yeah, this game is utter chaos too, so I've got to catch my drift first playing this fucking game. I haven't played this for years. Seriously, I'd say 150cc is not a joke. It's possible I've got to restart again, but let's see if I can pull up. Let's see if I can pull ahead. Get the start in use. Like, dang it. Rate that. And they had that in line, you see, with me. Like, right where I would have ended up drifting. It's like, we're playing against some demonic AI, you know. This isn't just normal CPU anymore. And they know everything that you're going to do beforehand. So it's like you'd sometimes see an item dropped on the track right where you would have ended up drifting. Things like that is scary, man. It's weird and scary. I'm playing emulated games, I know what I'm talking about. You might be like, what kind of crazy shit are you talking, man? But no. This is why some people are saying that they do believe we're in a matrix, because computers cannot possibly be that smart. Computers can't predict where you're going to be and stuff like that, and be placing ahead so effectively. I would understand if you could have seen the items appearing in front of you or appearing in, there's something called scaling distance. You can see a certain distance ahead of you in video games and stuff like that. If you could have seen the items appearing, then yeah, maybe the games are just doing that. But no, they're there from early o'clock. Like, you can see from far ahead that they're, and that's where you would have ended up drifting or where you would have ended up turning. It's fucking scary. And anybody with a brain, there are too many things going on in this world that cannot be explained otherwise. And CERN started up that fucking Hadron Collider, and what I think that thing is, there's something called the quantum entanglement, like where if you take the quantum field of two atoms, the atom could be all the way in Australia and another atom is all the way in the Antarctica, and they do something to the atom in Antarctica, identical effects are going to happen to the atom. I know this sounds like science class, but this is actual physics. Like, what happens, this is no science fiction, people, right? So I'm quite sure that's what they're doing, because they have countless colliders all over the world. There's the big one at CERN that we hear about, the Large Hadron Collider. That's why they called it the Large Hadron Collider. There are a lot of them all over the earth, and they're doing some freaky shit with materials. And if they change data in one atom, it's going to change elsewhere. They're changing material. They've actually invented time travel. I'm so fucking sorry, but all the references they made in movies are not random, especially the Marvel movies with the, you know, Avengers Endgame. They really went back in time to put the Infinity Stones back after using them and stuff like that. They went back for them, and then they went to put, they sent Captain America back in time to kind of place them back where they came from, stuff like that. That is a direct reference to what these people are doing, believe it or not. Oh god. So avoid these covers. Just because it's on television, that's the brainwashing, that's the predictive programming. That itself is the predictive programming. They get you to believe these things are fake, so that when they do them, you would never guess that they're actually happening. You'd be comfortable and just say, oh, it's TV. When in actuality it's happening. So these days are getting really evil and really weird, and it's affecting gaming as well, because now these computers have quantum brain entanglement for processing. So they found a way, just like our brains work through electricity, and say someone next to you thinks something, and all of a sudden, you say someone might be humming something. This happens to people. I'm going to prove the quantum entanglement in brain processes, right? Someone might be humming a song in their head, and you know, this is something people know about. You know nothing because, you know, directly, right? Because like you can't hear them doing it, they're just doing it in their mind. But then all of a sudden you start thinking about that same song and you start humming it, and then they're like, hey, I was just listening to that in my mind, I was just playing that in my mind, I was thinking about that song, that's cool, huh? Yeah, that happens, and people don't even question it. It's like people are brainwashed against that too. Like, things like this happen and people are still like, oh, that's normal. We aren't psychic, we're not supposed to be able to read each other's mind. But then there are a few people on the planet who that part of the brain still works, and then you're like, wait a minute, that shouldn't be possible unless, and then you go down what terminology wise they call the rabbit hole, and you start looking for sciences and proofs, and you know, you start looking for stuff, right? You start actually untangling the story. But there's some people, they're so far down into the matrix, has them so good. The matrix in a lot of senses is real, that they don't even think about it. It happens and they just ignore it, and they're like, oh, okay, that's something that just happens. What the fuck? It's like the brain has been turned off by the Matrix or something. So I've got to restart again. This cup especially is like totally hell, man. Totally hell. Like, you see all the carts all over the place, all the items all over the track. So yeah, you'll only see my true skill when I get to the next game, and that is I was saying, you know, is it's not gonna be as much hell as it is for Game Boy Advance. I'm using a better controller now, of course, but I do believe the Mario Kart series is cursed, to be honest. I do believe it's cursed. There are a lot of people who hate Mario Kart because they might not be as skilled enough to even get, you know, these games completed. And they just hate on these games so bad. But these games are better than, you know, you've got to play them, you've got to actually acquire the skill and play it for yourself. And you can see that these games are really good. But trying to play these for YouTube, after playing for so many years, talking, keeping a focused mind and driving at the same time, not easy. But anyways, I'm pausing the recording, coming back. Alright, so I just finished the first race. It was only the second race we're at. I'm going to be speaking a lot less for these episodes. So what I do believe, I'm going to see if I can prove it here. When you're playing on these emulators, the game goes into evil mode, I'd say, when it detects that a screen, because you know they've got so much code in these emulators now. It's not impossible. If it detects that you're recording the screen, I think they purposely programmed them to be extra difficult. I don't know, maybe they hate streamers or they hate people that play these games for the public. I do not know what the fuck it is, but I'm quite sure the game just levels up in difficulty. You see a lot of weird fucking shit happening all of a sudden. So I do believe that's what's causing this. Not for sure, but I'm convinced by now because I've been playing these. This is the third time that I played this for recording this game, and every time I'm recording the game, like whilst I'm playing, you could easily try to argue that maybe I'm just focusing better because I'm not talking or anything. I'm focusing on a video as well, but no, that is not it. I tell you, what the fuck was that? That's one straight, right? So I'm back all into 6th, 7th. Alright, so I'm going to call everything that's weird about what's happening in this game. I'm driving really good here, huh? Alright, get around the corner. Whoa, in my face with a dang it. Drove into a freaking car. Alright, 2 cars around a corner. There's supposed to be 1 and then a pause, but it sent 2 cars around a corner after me. That's another straight. Believe it or not, that's actually a freaking straight. So that's 2 things that was weird so far. We don't get any draft in this time. Thankfully, you drove into that. Oh god, fuck. Jesus Christ. See it? The game is sending things at you purposely. Anytime you're recording the screen, the game goes crazy. I see it. I was playing so comfortably through the freaking first track compared to what was happening whilst I was recording. This game, these emulators are fucking annoying. They do not like YouTubers, they do not like streamers. I'm telling you, this is no guess. Whoever creates and programs these apps has got full autonomy over the way that they behave, and I'm quite sure right when you're streaming or video recording the screen, the app goes insane. Like the CPU start doing some stuff they're not supposed to be doing. Yeah, that track was not supposed to be there with that timing, I'm quite sure. I've played this game for years, and I've got one of those brains where I can remember everything in detail. Like, I've got literal movies planned in my head, like video edits and stuff that I had since I was... I'm 30 right now, right? Yeah, I know I'm kind of old. But, I have got things in my head planned that I had there in plan detail, you know, right? Since I was 11 and 12 years old. I've got one of those brains, right? Going to waste on this island because these people do not appreciate that sort of art. My dream is to be like a movie director or something. Like, I like writing, I like video editing. I have a channel there. I'm going to leave a link in this video description to a channel I made years ago called the Bats 4000. And I've got some edits that I made, and you can see how old, from the quality of the videos and stuff, how old those videos are. And you can actually just look at the date on them from like 13 and 16 years ago and all that shit. And they are edited superbly. There's one I did, No More Sorrow, for the Transformers movies, like a few edits I got together from. I had a Blu-ray copy of Transformers 1 somehow, and other films as well, and I just, you know, slap them together with that song. And I don't just edit to the song and the songs and stuff and slap scenes together. I actually match scenes with the lyrics of the song and stuff like that, and that's my dream. So I know what I'm telling you. I can remember in detail and actually pick up on changes, how a game is supposed to be behaving every time I start recording. Either it's that, or we actually live in some fucked up age now where people could automate devices from a distance. It's like demonology, I say, because our brains work from electricity, devices work from electricity. I do think possession could work if someone has a low enough frequency in their body, a low enough electricity, like they're if someone is evil enough in mind and they're doubtful enough in mind, the electricity is going to be so low that they could easily be possessed by another spirit, which is just electricity. But if you have really high electricity and you're not so doubtful and retarded, I would say retarded, lacking spirit, you would be fine, to be honest. If you're doubtful as fuck, you could easily be possessed by anything. So I'm wondering, people are behaving so weird these days. Females that all of a sudden were never clear for sure, all of a sudden saying they're clear. I'm not against people making their own choice. I'm not against queers. I'm just saying it's odd. The percentage is like, I know, like, I actually worked it out. Don't ask how, but like 40% of the Earth's population, and that's a lot. That's almost 50%. 40%, 40% of the population, all of a sudden in the last 8 years, started claiming that they're queer, right? And then we had all of these weird shifts, weird appearances in the sky. People say it's portals, CERN doing a lot of nonsense, and they smartly referenced it in that that was Devil May Cry, Netflix series for that Capcom video game series called Devil May Cry. And the freaking characters they're talking about, the wormholes that opened in space-time, those that they're trying to find a way to shut them back. And some demons and stuff could have easily gotten through because they're not physical like us. They could easily get through a tiny hole in space-time, like it's nothing to them. So they mentioned all that in there. I think that was the very first episode too of the freaking series. I was like, oh shit, they're talking about it. Yeah, this is getting real. I can't remember. I'm not as much a world panty or world underwear to every single thing that's going on in media, as although I'm a gamer and I should really know what's going on. This Devil May Cry series is one of the best freaking animations ever created. Awesome as hell. You need to watch that from Netflix if you did not as yet. But I can't remember if it's coming out next year. It's coming out 2026. Yeah, you could drift away from a freaking red shell and confuse it in this game. It's so awesome, I know. It's either 2027, I think it's 2027. I don't think it's 2026. Because, you know, the animations take a lot of time, but I still find it surprising that they're announcing it and all that, and it's so far away from completion of production, but there's no way they said in the early, I do believe that it's being created. Come on, this is the last lap, no shit game. Okay, there we go. So a lot of weird shit is going on. Whenever my video games act oddly, I do think about a lot of stuff that could be happening. I'm no fucking arse, I'm no dumbass. From what I just said. Brain entanglement, they found a way to open actual wormholes. They're messing with other dimensions. They could mess with materials across space-time, including technology. That's actually what the internet is. If you do not know, you don't have any dying common sense. Someone could be humming, that's brain entanglement, that's brain quantum entanglement. It happens because the person's brain is running on electricity and our bodies give off an aura, and sometimes, even though a person's pineal gland could be damaged, like most people on the earth because of how we eat and stuff like that, you might sometimes still connect with someone else, and all of a sudden you think about the same song they're thinking about. It's the same frequency. Songs have a certain unique frequency our brains tap into when we hear certain songs, and you just feel that frequency and start humming it as well, and then they'll be like, oh my god, I was just thinking about that song. That's entanglement, but they're doing that on a larger scale, I tell you, with these hadron colliders. And all know they've got these things spinning particles and testing particles and shit. They're doing stuff to these things. So this world is getting crazy, and technology runs off of electricity too. So I am a bit, every time I see odd activity, I've been watching. I'll give you an example, right? Yeah. Super Smash is very complex in code and stuff like that, and they could easily just, you know, put data into the game to have them behave like fighters and stuff, like people who actually play the game. They proved this with Street Fighter 6 and stuff like that. They just have data in the game for those players, but I've seen some odd behavior. My system is offline, supposedly. I don't think a lot of devices now in the 2020s actually go offline. I think they do connect to this like streamed, this one streamed server that every device connects to on the AI. I would call it even the AI spectrum. And they, like, what I call ghost update. They're always pulling data about things and people and stuff like that. And whilst you're playing, right, I kid you not, I was playing a game, and I realized that the CPU always like reacts to my movements before I do them, as though they know it's not based on actual like input, and maybe reacting to my input, like, you know, computers are supposed to behave. I flexed my mind. I put my controller down, right, and I taught to press a button, and the CPU started moving. No, I was like, I shut my mind off. I am really skilled at stuff like that. I've got like what I call psychic control somewhat. I can actually actively alternate my brain signals. That's what I call it, right? So I've been testing this, and I'm going to do some videos doing that, and it's going to freak you the hell out, because I'm going to be using a camera. I'm not going to be recording my game screen, and someone could be in the background secretly controlling the CPU. No, you're going to see that this is the CPU playing. There's no one on any end. Although we could have Bluetooth controllers these days, it's really they plan things so well, it's scary. Like, there are a lot of things they could easily try to debunk now, but really and truly, I'm going to show you that these CPU are possibly either what I technically call possessed by the AI whilst we playing, and the AI is then learning actively from us. So like, then I'd like tell myself that I'm not doing anything. The CPU's there staying in, like, you know, like precautionary like silence, I'd call it, and just not moving. And then the moment I start thinking to do a particular move, the CPU is hopping, or, you know, like when someone is like testing the analog state, to do that. You see sometimes in like some professional gamer fights for Super Smash, you see them like doing left right, that like quick left right movement. It'd be doing that and stuff, and it'd be like, holy shit, these are fucking demons. No, I spoke to someone about that. Maybe I shouldn't have, and they instantly told themselves that I'm crazy. You know how people are, and that is just learned. What I was reading in person, you know, people give off aura as they in person. So the person's energy was saying, you know, this innocent, almost brainwashed, programmed energy. I hate to sense it sometimes. And it was a female too, and she was like, no, that's just learned programming. Like there's, you know, like they learn from your movements and stuff like that. That's what she was thinking. She's saying, no, you're crazy. I was like, no. I was like, yeah, so you definitely, nope. I'm done conversating with you. I instantly was like that. I'm done. You can't understand. Then maybe you need a bit more, you know, that's it most of the time. You can't just something so that seems so far-fetched, like expect someone to instantly just take what you say to heart. But that's exactly what's going on, and I'm going to prove it in some videos. It's all this shit, especially in these emulators, because these things, everything is quantum entangled, every single thing, and they're learning how to tap into that quantum entanglement directly through these freaking, I was going to say it, let me just say it's my channel, fucking colliders, these crazy evil devices. But it could easily be argued that freaking technology is magic anyways. So if you want to call that evil, then watching a television and swapping between channels, like pulling data through the ear, images and sound through the ear, is freaking sorcery anyways, if you don't want to see it that way, but it is. See if I unlock something, hopefully. Yeah, so you want a gold trophy in the Star Cup at one for barrel train, nice. So this is the DK cart here. yeah, so that's it. Let's see, that was 24 minutes. That wasn't bad. I say that wasn't bad at all. So that's it for this Star Cup. The very next episode is going to be the final episode for this Mario Kart Double Dash. If you enjoyed this playthrough so far, you can, if you enjoyed this video, you could click that like button, leave a comment as well, and that button that says subscribe, if it does still say subscribe, because you know, changes are possibly coming to the internet very soon. I'm quite sure there've been some behind the scenes like changes to code and stuff going on the internet. Who knows for what? Maybe starting for 2026, like January 1st 2026, shows are starting on Netflix. I find that very interesting. There's a good one called the Good Doctor, based on this slightly autistic doctor. He's like really, he has a really fast brain, stuff like that, and that's what kept him in the doctoring occupation, and is a really interesting series. It's got a lot of seasons, like more than 6 seasons, or maybe 6 seasons, I'm not sure, but yeah, you can check that out as well. But very interesting that they're starting January 1st, January 1, 2026. So I think something is coming next year for the internet and systems. So possibly, if it still says subscribe, but really and truly that's only a follow button. There's no payment necessary, although so many services online use the word subscribe for paid services. That's free of charge. You can click on that and you'll be following my channel. So you'd be notified whenever I upload new videos, make posts, things like that. All right. So until next episode, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, whenever and wherever you're watching. This has been Mr. Pokemon 907. Until next episode.